it's the Lipstick Gal. Thank you so much for watching today. I wanted to do a video trying some new drugstore products. I have been waiting to get my hands on this. This finally came in the mail yesterday. This is the e.l.f. Camo CC Cream, and I've got really high hopes for it. But I thought I would mix it with a multitude of other drugstores. Some of it's new, some of it's not, and I thought we'd see what we can find at the drugstore for a more affordable price. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you for being subscribed. And if you haven't, would you please? All right, so I'm gonna start by throwing some of this on. I already have my face primed, and I'm just gonna grab a clean foundation brush. So that's it's pump and a half. The first pump was kind of like a half a pump because I had to prime the pump for a while, and then this. I hope it's the right color. Let's see. I don't know if I got the right shade. I did my best. I think I have shade 120, Fair 120N. It might be just a little too light. Cross your fingers. I think the reason that it feels so good is that it has a lot of skincare ingredients in it. There's niacinamide, collagen, peptides. I don't know what type of peptides or whether the collagen is going to help since it's not underneath the skin, but you know, that's not half bad. I'm always worried that I'm going to end up with the foundation that's either way too light or way too dark for me. Oh, blend, blend, blend. I'm going to use the e.l.f. Hydrating Camo Concealer today too. I feel like it might be my best shade match since this CC cream is a little bit on the light side. This concealer is also just a smidge on the light side. I think I'm just going to go over this with a sponge. It's looking a little, it looks a little heavy, like it might be sitting on the skin. And sometimes a sponge can help just press it in a little bit more. Oh yeah, it's looking better. This might be better applied with a sponge overall. You know, you live, you learn. The e.l.f. Halo Glow Setting Mist has become one of my favorite powders. Not just like drugstore powders, just one of my favorites. I really like it. So I'm gonna put some of this on today, but right now I am going to just kind of set my eye area because I got one other cream product I wanted to try. I have my under eye set and my lid set a little bit because I put some concealer down as primer. But before I go any farther, I don't want to powder the rest of my face because I wanted to try this. This is the new e.l.f. Putty Blush. And what shade are you? Hello? It doesn't say anywhere on here. How dare you? Oh, I don't like that at all. It only says it on the box. This is Tahiti. That's pretty lame. There's nothing on the bottom, nothing on the side, nothing on the cap. That's all right. We'll figure it out. I'm gonna use this kind of smaller but dense brush to pick it up, bounce it on the back of my hand before putting it straight to my cheek. I discovered something really surprising. For years, I never used bronzer or highlight, I just used blush. And it's only been in like the last decade that I got into bronzer and highlight. Before that, it was just the only cheek product I used was blush. And I know, like, I had somebody who lived through the 90s ever not use bronzer. That was me, I didn't do it. Back then, the bronzers were so orange. But I realized you can still get a really beautiful sculpted look just using blush. I discovered this the other day. I did a video where I only used 5 makeup items to do a whole face. And I was surprised at how much shape and lift I got out of just blush. So if you are kind of like a blush draping person, you can get a lot done. I'm using the Primer Infused Bronzer in Forever Sunkissed. At first, when I got this, I didn't like it because I don't always wear a full face of makeup. There are days that I don't wear foundation, and I felt like this was patchy and didn't last all day. And that was because I didn't have like a full face on. I feel like this works better if you're wearing foundation, powder, bronzer, blush. I've been ordering everything online. And if you know anything at all about ordering makeup online, it can be like a real questionable situation. Is it going to turn out good? Did you get the right colors? Are the pictures really representative of what the actual color is going to be when you get it in your hand? That's so hard. So I looked at a ton of swatches on different skin tones, on multiple websites, just making sure that I was seeing things that were, you know, and also where the Camo CC Cream was compared to other shades of other drugstore foundations. That was helpful to decide, okay, well, I do have that and that's too dark and this is, you know, to pick the right shade. It's hard. And I think it's gonna be a long time before we're back to the point where we can like swatch things in store. I miss being able to go into Ulta, Sephora, any store where, you know, even Walgreens lets you swatch certain things, and not being able to do that, it's so hard, especially to pick base products. So if you have any suggestions for how to be better about that, I would love to know. So it's been a long time since I picked up one of the Wet n Wild Mega Glow highlighting powders. The last one I had was Precious Petals and it was too dark. This one here is called Blossom Glow. I wonder if it's gonna be a, ooh, very light, very pink, but let's put some of this on and see what we think. I'm almost worried it might be too glowy. Oh, I knocked some off. Oh, it's a little icy. Just gonna keep buffing. See where we end up. I was worried it's gonna be too much. I don't feel like it is too much. I feel like it's just enough, but it's definitely not too dark. I am in desperate need of some brows. I think we have to brows next. So I have in years past had one of these. This is the e.l.f. Ultra Precise Brow Pencil, but I had the shade Brunette. And I wish that this all comes down to not really good color representation on the box or online. And so I had bought Brunette thinking it would be good and it was too red. And I was like, I hate this pencil. And when I discovered the $2 e.l.f. Brow Pencil, which is not readily available here on my desk, I loved it, but I got the shade Neutral Brown. And then I fell in love with the Wow Brow and I got it in Brunette. And Neutral Brown is my shade. So when I realized that this guy came in Neutral Brown, I was like, okay, e.l.f., impress me with your brow products once more. So I'm gonna throw some of this in my brows and then we'll top it off with the Wow Brow. That's not a bad brow pencil. Okay, e.l.f. I'm pretty impressed. That's all I'm gonna say. I'm gonna throw on some of the Wow Brow. Now let's start by back combing. Something that's new that super surprised me and I definitely wanted to try were the new palettes from Wet n Wild. This is one of their Color Icon 10-pan palettes. This one's called Nude Awakening. Now I know in the grand scheme of things, this is not like the most exciting color story, but I remind myself that I am a neutral lover and these kind of tended to be kind of those neutral. We have a little bit of cool over on this side and more kind of just like neutral on it, like in color. I don't feel like there's a lot of warmth here, but that's kind of what I go for. I did pick up one of their new 5-pan palettes, but maybe we'll save that for another time. So I don't think there's any names on these guys. Nope, it's just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I'm going to use shade number 4, and I'm going to start with this guy in my crease. How long ago was it? 3 or 4 years ago that they reformulated, repackaged, and I remember having the original Walking on Eggshells, and they had another Walking on Eggshells in this new 5-pan reformulated. I don't know if it's a reformulator or whether it's just like a new packaging, but I'll tell you, I was super impressed with that for a drugstore eyeshadow, and this is blending really nicely. I think it all comes down to how does it wear. I feel like drugstore is really coming for like the high-end brands. And I remember, this is gonna age me and that's okay, but when I was a kid and I was looking for drugstore makeup, I was wanting to pencil in my brows because my brows weren't as bold as I would want them to be. Remember those, were they CoverGirl, those 2 pencils that came in a duo pack? And they had 3 shades. They had like a blonde, they had a brunette, which was like redhead, and then they had an ebony. And blonde and brunette and ebony, none of them worked for me. And I was like, what am I supposed to do? And they were also, they could duo as an eyeliner. I was like, So I didn't do brows for such a long time. And I never thought about it when I was going to like the beauty counters at the department store. You know, should have been asking Lancome or Clinique or, you know, Estee Lauder or any of the other ones, like, what do we do for brows? But I didn't start doing like something to my brows until like about mid-30s. It's been like a decade maybe. So for years, I just brushed my brows up and maybe sprayed a little bit of hairspray on a toothbrush and kind of strategically placed them in place. And when I started using, I think the first brow product I started using that I felt like I could confidently use was Anastasia's Brow Wiz. It changed my life. I still love that. And it's a great product. Oh, I like this. This is really nice. I'm gonna grab a smaller brush and I'm gonna go into this shade and this burgundy shade here. I'm gonna tap between the brown and the burgundy. So these feel just a hair powdery. There's a lot of kick up. Maybe I need to not tap it off too hard here. There we go. I want a little bit of depth and dimension. Nothing has improved my eyeshadow looks more than a smaller detailed brush. You don't have to have like this expensive Sonia G brush. This is the mini booster if you're curious, but I'll tell you, like, for exact placement, making sure that if I use a larger brush, I just get eyeshadow everywhere. And I don't have as much real estate as some people do on their lids. And I definitely want to keep dark colors in very specific places. And I feel like a smaller brush like this really helps me do it. The other thing that has been a transformative, like my eyeshadow looks got instantly better, is instead of blending all the way out, I'm blending up. So I usually kind of aim towards the tail end of my brow, you know, go in little circles here through the crease and then kind of up through the tail end of my brow, because when I don't do that, everything gets dragged down and my whole face just looks a little droopy. And then sometimes I'll just use a dry sponge to just kind of make sure everything is still going in the direction I'm hoping it's going to go. There are 5 mattes and there are 5 shimmers, and I kind of want to put my finger in all of them. As I'm looking at these, I'm kind of leaning this direction and not so much this direction. I feel like this is the lightest one here looks a little powdery, but let's see. Maybe I will put just a little bit of this plummy shade here, just right on the tail end of the lid. Just like, I'm going to take this more kind of goldeny, peachy shade, kind of hit the middle of the lid with it pretty heavy, and kind of tap it over that other shade I just put down. And then I'm going to grab another small brush and pick up the lightest kind of vanilla-y shade in here. Oh, maybe not. Maybe more of this rose gold. I haven't used this in a while. I almost forgot that I had it. It's from Revlon. This is their Color Stay Micro Hyper Precision Gel Eyeliner. I picked up a couple of lipsticks. One is one that I've been wanting to try for a while. It's their Hydrating Core Lip Shine. And I picked up another one of their lip slicks. This is in the shade Wild Peach. My favorite one is Black Cherry. I have been in love with that, and that has been like living in my purse, by my bedside. I feel like I need another one just so I can leave one here and have one there. I don't want to do that though. I don't need 2 of the same lipstick, but I wanted to try a different shade. This is Wild Peach. I swatched them both. This is Wild Peach. And this one right here, what's the shade on this one? This one's called Lovely. So I thought we'd start with this lighter one first, see what she looks like. I feel like this would be the perfect summer shade. It's not quite a peach, it's not quite a coral. It's definitely sheer, so your natural lip color shows through. And I feel like my lips just look healthy. I feel like the Black Cherry is great for winter and fall, but I could see myself wearing this shade. If you like lighter, peachier tones, you definitely like this Wild Peach. This one here in Lovely has that little heart core. I think I messed it up by swatching it first. I don't like the smell of this. It's a little off-putting because it just makes this one look a little shinier, a little glossier. It feels a little shinier than the Sheer Slick lipstick. I think we did pretty good today with all new drugstore stuff. I feel like the eye look, although it's really basic, I know it's basic, but that's the kind of gal I am. I do like really basic eyeshadows, and my question is, are these going to be long wearing? Are they going to look good at the end of the day? Or are they going to kind of fade or crease? And I'll have to let you know. I will leave a pinned comment down below letting you know how this wore. I feel like this Hydrating Camo foundation, the CC cream, I feel like it might be best applied with a sponge instead of a brush, because the problem I had at first was it looked like it was sitting on my skin. So I went from, you know, brushing it in like this to pressing it in like this, and that made like a huge difference. And I feel like this Putty Blush, I feel like it's nice. It's not too much. But I'll be interested to see. I think there's another formula of cream blush that I like better. I do have another drugstore cream blush to try for you. That's kind of been something I've been interested in recently. I definitely feel like this works a little bit better than the one that I tried in my last Get Ready With Me, that Milani multi-use stick. But we'll check back. I'll check back in with you and make sure to give you the updates on all the new things I'm trying. But I feel like, you know, for drugstore, it was pretty successful. And the reason I say that, and I'm still slightly amazed, is that I've spent most of my makeup life in high-end luxury makeup, and I've always had kind of like a bad experience trying drugstore stuff where I didn't get the right shade because I couldn't, you know, color match myself in store, or I didn't like the formula, or it didn't wear long enough. And I feel like drugstore's really been hitting the up button, and they're coming for those high-end brands. They can do it just as well. So let me know if you have any drugstore favorites, what they are in the comments down below. If you've tried any of these things, are you excited to try this? Are you interested in, I don't know if it's a reformulation or if it's just a repackaging? Let me know in the comments down below. Thank you so much for watching. Have an incredible day, and I will see you again soon.